Okay, so this is more of a real-time video instead of a time-lapse style video. Bearing in mind that while I'm very interested and I read a lot and look a lot, I don't really know a whole lot about what I'm trying to do. So you're gonna see weird shit like this. There's a few things that I tried here. One was a drawing out, which is why it's sharp. And then I took and tried to flatten, which is why there's a bulbous area there. And then I wanted to see how I could hammer a curve in, and it's the exact diameter of my anvil, also known as a very large bolt. Alright, so the next one, is this guy, which you get to see my failure as I tried to punch a hole in it. Now if you look real close, you could tell that I did achieve a hole. That was the first punch, but of course it's way too small. These are gonna I'm trying to make a set of tongs, and both ends are pretty well formed. They look like a set of tongs, or at least the tong end. So I'm pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, I may have to scrap this side and start over again, but I'll just cut it even with that where that hole is. I'm not quite confident in my abilities to forge that out, but I'll hang on to that piece of metal because I might be able to use it one day. Alright, and then last-ish but not least-ish is this little guy. It's covered in dirt, sorry. But this is just an attempt to... I was going to try to form a nail, but I don't really want to drill any holes tonight. I could, I know, but that means sitting down and deciding what piece of metal I want to drill a hole in. So I haven't made a nail header, and yeah, it's going to slow me down. Alright, the end's not too hot. Never going to wipe the dirt off. So you may not be able to tell, but it's pretty sharp. And the edges are pretty smooth, so I think it would be a successful nail. And the only reason there's a curve in it is because when I pulled it out against the fire, I just kind of wanted to see how easy it was to bend, and I literally took it and pushed it against the anvil, and it bent very easily. Anyways, so those are for the night. The next thing I'm looking at is, you'll see in the background there, right above my finger here, this is my finger, you'll see a piece of strap steel. It's just a piece of 1/8 inch, I don't know, 1 inch wide bar stock. It came off of something that I no longer have. I'm not worried about that. So it is probably going to be a handle or several handles. And those of you who have looked at my stuff in the past know that in my old shop I actually took the time to heat up and bend a whole bunch of handles for the shop, and they worked out quite well. So this is going to be an attempt at a more decorative one. I don't want to drag this on, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and I'm going to kind of beat on the end a little bit. I just want to have kind of decorative ends to it, and you'll get to see that because there we go. And it's dark. Sorry, Ed. I bet you survived though. So yeah, safety first. Here's my big heavy apron, my leather apron, and of course I've got my safety squints engaged, and I'm ready to go. And I kneel on my apron so that there's no chance of this thing getting under me. A workbench would be better, but I ain't got none right now. Alright, so in case you can't tell, that's pretty warm. There's a lot of scale on there from the fire. And we're just going to shape that end. It was square. I don't want it to be square anymore. And I'm just using a ball peen hammer for this guy, because it doesn't have to be that technical. And I don't know if you can tell, but once you see, it's no longer a dull thud, it's more of a ringing sound. It's too cool to work on now, so we put it back in the fire. Unfortunately, it's nice and cool out tonight, so that may contribute to it cooling down pretty rapidly, but it heats up pretty quick. So where am I working? Well, I have a layer of sand down so that I can clean it up easily, and a pile of fire bricks, chimney bricks, and a coal fire, and then behind it, maybe you can see there's a pipe on the ground that goes over to a blower that's set there on the ground, and that's what I'm heating with. And so we'll just do one more time here. There's my hand and wheel, and we're just going to do it one more time. It should be hot enough by now. It doesn't take that long, just a few seconds, and we're back at the snuff. I wish that I knew somebody around here with a forge. I could probably pay for coal or pay for propane and do some learning from somebody who actually knows what the hell they're doing. Everything I've done here is trial and error. I have quite a few books that tell me how to temper and what temperatures I need to look out for. But sometimes a guiding hand is a good thing. So just put you on the fire real quick. You can say, I'm not going to put any more coal on it for tonight, but you can kind of see what I'm doing before I shut it off. So there's right here in the center is the heat, and I want to try to keep coke, which is dried out coal. I know that sounds funny, but that's what it is. I want to keep coke coming in, and so what we do is we pile our coal around the outside. Usually I just put it up on top of these bricks, and then we just move it in. If we put too much coal, not coke, if we put too much coal on, it gets really, really smoky. And that might be a piece of coal there, that's why it's got really smoky. And that smoke is very unpleasant. But let's see if I can make this video too long for you. Alright, so if I zoom in on fire, you'll see that there's distinct hot spots in the center there. It's more white to my eyes than to yours, and the fire is actually a lot brighter too. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty close to what it looks like to me. You can see that it's very bright in the center, and around the edges, the coal or the coke at this point is not on fire, but it is dried. You can see that piece right there. See how it's smoking? It's almost like a steam coming off of that. And after it, you can go over there and you'll see that it's got like a slick, glassy color to it. It's like almost like tar or something is boiling out of it. And of course, if the fire is going well, like it is right there, it's not very smoky. And actually, that's crazy. The smoke appears very well on the camera, but not to me. Yeah, it's smoky, but it's not that bad. It doesn't look that bad to me. Alright, so you can see that piece right there is really smoking. There's a few pieces of coal on the fire now instead of just coke, but the coke is what we want burning, and that creates the necessary heat. Coal just makes a lot of smoke and eventually turns into coke. But yeah, see, I'm sitting in the smoke and it wasn't that bad. It doesn't really take a whole lot of time. That piece is ready for beating on a little bit. It's an interesting process, and there's some trial and error for me, but if there wasn't, I probably wouldn't be as interested in it. There we go. You can see I cleared the air just a little bit, the airway, and now it's really blasting out heat. But okay, that's it. That's long enough. So that's what I'm up to, experimenting and making stuff. This will eventually be a handle, and hopefully I can brag about it later on. Alright, good night, guys.